How's it going, everyone? We are back. The Paralysis Report is back, and we'll be interviewing many local candidates this election season. We will be asking all candidates in all the races because the Paralysis Report is nonpartisan and it values proper representation. So if we ask a candidate in a particular race, we will go out and ask the other candidate in that race. But before we get started, let's go ahead and pay some bills. Finally, the Paralysis Report has a couple advertisers that have asked us to promote their businesses on it, so we're definitely breaking some ground here. But are you tired of your normal boring cable providers? Well, no more, because finally live television anytime, anywhere with TV. Watch all your favorite shows and movies on your smartphone, tablet, and television. You can enjoy your favorite TV shows, movies, and sports at home or on the go on today's mostly popular devices. You can have entertainment for everyone with viewing up onto 5 devices simultaneously in your entire household, and you can enjoy so that your family can enjoy their favorite content. For more information, go to tv.tv.com. All right, Rick, let's go ahead and get started. We have interviewed you before, so let's go ahead and whatever issues you want to talk about. I looked at your platform, and you're really heavy on communication, especially in a highly in a majority Latino community. We all understand over there in Pasco that there has been a communication problem. But can you talk about that and kind of connect that to some of the issues that are plaguing the city of Pasco, like economic development, community development, individuals not graduating from high school? Communication is a big key to the ever-growing progress of certain communities. So go ahead. You have the floor is yours.
Communications, well, as I've said from the very, very beginning, and this is one of the reasons I got involved, was that I've always felt there's a lack of communications between the existing city council and the powers that be and the community at large. My background is education. My background is coaching not just as athletically, but also in the business arena. And so I understand that to get people to be motivated and move to action, you have to be able to communicate exactly what it is that you're talking about. I look at the city of Pasco. Pasco is the youngest, fastest growing city in the Pacific Northwest. That means that the educational process is a big part of everyone's life because there are young people in this city. Young people means education. Within the educational network itself, communications is the basis for everything. So it's easy to extrapolate that and say, well, within the city itself, communications has to be vital.
What kind of examples can you provide? I'm sure when people talk to you, they want examples of what are some how has a city miscommunicated with their constituents?
Well, a perfect example that I can cite, because I've been talking with different people about this industry very recently, is the cannabis industry. Okay. The cannabis industry needs to be communicated to the community for what it is. It's not a morality issue. This is a business. This is a viable, regulated, and certified business. It's a legal business. It's the most tightly controlled industry in the state of Washington. It's one of the highest paying industries in the state of Washington. And there are people surrounding us that benefit from this industry.
Well, how do you communicate that? I just heard you say that cannabis isn't a morality issue. So how do you communicate that point to people who see it as a morality issue?
Well, if a person's stuck on the morality issue, I'm not going to get into an argument about whether it is or whether it isn't. I look at it like any other business, the numbers side. What do the numbers tell us? What kind of numbers do they generate? And what is the beneficial aspect of those numbers? If you look at Colorado, which has had the longest legal cannabis industry in the nation, they've generated over $4 billion in assistance to the state of Colorado, mostly to education. That's something that we could be doing right here in Pasco. There's a business 10 miles from Pasco that does $1 million a month in sales for a community of 6,000. Now, anyone will tell you that that community is not generating $1 million in sales. That money is coming from Pasco as well as other cities in the Tri-Cities. That money should stay in Pasco. That money should benefit the city of Pasco. If it's being spent by Pasco residents, then let's keep it in the city. Let's have it benefit the city.
So you see the selling of recreational marijuana within the city limits as a viable revenue source for the city?
Oh, absolutely. It's no different than bars, restaurants, convenience stores that sell tobacco and alcohol products. That's why I say, I know this is not a morality issue, because if it was, none of those businesses would exist in the city of Pasco. And it can't be a legality issue because these are legal businesses. We had a business here for 6 weeks that was forced to close, and they moved to Spokane. And since they've gotten to Spokane, they've become a tremendous success story. There's a number 6 store in the city with 24 stores in a year and a half. The Spokesman Review, the #1 paper there, has written 4 articles about them. Their bud tender was elected Bud Tender of the Year for the entire city. This is a family-run business. This is a family-owned business. It was owned by an individual who was born and raised in Pasco, who graduated from Pasco High, and all he wanted to do was bring a business that would employ people and generate more business. Since he's moved his business to Spokane, 3 new businesses have opened up around him because of the foot traffic. That business could have been benefiting the city of Pasco for the last 2 years and doing great things, hiring people, paying high wages. It's a clean business. It's probably the most tightly secured business that exists. The state mandates the things you have to do to make sure your business is secure. But that needs to be communicated to the city. The city needs to understand, the community needs to understand that this is a legal business. There's tremendous benefits if you just look at it for what it is.
There's a learning curve with this, right? Because we're one of the few states that are experimenting with the selling of recreational marijuana.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. And here's what people need to understand. There's not going to be a brand new city council on January 1st, and then January 2nd there's going to be a store opens.
Right.
No, it's a process that you have to go to. Once again, the communications process. We need to sit down with the community members. Every city council member has to go to their district and communicate to their constituents.
Just real quickly, would you support a referendum to the constituents of the city if there is a big push to put a marijuana store or stores in the city of Pasco? Would you be okay with having a referendum to the people?
Oh, absolutely.
And having just a vote on it. Hey, if we're going to do this, let's have a vote
Absolutely.
on it then.
Absolutely. But that means that you have to have a definitive plan in place. I look at it and see that a store could go into the downtown area of Pasco and have a tremendous impact on that area, just like the business that was here is having in Spokane. You could bring new businesses in because there is foot traffic. There are people who want to spend their money in that store.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Rick. Thank you for coming on the Paralysis Report. Again, we will be reaching out to Saul Martinez, who's also running in District 3, and we will get his thoughts, get his platform up there on the Paralysis Report YouTube channel. So, again, thank you, Rick, and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks.
Thank you, Leo.
You're welcome.